Hey, you guys, what's up? It's I, the Psy, and I feel compelled to talk once again about Soulbound reward cards and how I think they can actually be fixed. First, I want to show you guys something. I made my last video and I was pretty pumped. I'd gone 17 out of 20 with the wins, and now you can see that the opposite is happening. I'm all red. As soon as you enter champ mode, it's basically all max level decks, and now I got 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 wins on the board and 13 losses. So, like I always say, the game giveth and the game taketh away. And right now, it is taking. I wish that Han Solo had said, "Don't get cocky, kid," just like he did to Luke, and maybe I'd have a better record. But regardless, here we are. We're talking a little bit about Soulbound, and what I'm going to talk about today. I mean, it's been discussed through Discord. Some of the other streamers have talked about it. But I'm going to give my opinion on how we can actually fix Soulbound reward cards in the way that I think it should be. Now, I kind of want to preface this whole thing um, by saying that if we didn't need to do Soulbound anymore, that'd obviously be the best solution possible. If there was a way that we could make it so that the bots, sure, they can maybe extract a little bit, but not to the capacity that they're doing before. And I think maybe the Glint does a good job of this. And if they were to remove the SPS rewards as a 1x, so that all those wild bots also couldn't extract as much, at least would have to stake a lot more SPS. That's also another move in the right direction. But what can we actually do with the Soulbound cards if they're still going to be Soulbound? And again, like I said, ideally, I would love to see Soulbounds just go away at this point in time, because that kind of moves away from the whole Web3 concept. And you guys know that initially I was a big supporter of Soulbound, and then I kind of got lukewarm about it, and now I am anti-Soulbound again. Part of the problem, in my opinion, is that they've just gone on for way too long. Like when Soulbounds were first announced, I thought that maybe, you know what, we'd have some Soulbound reward cards, and, you know, in a reasonable amount of time, they would be unlocked. Like I thought maybe when Rebellion rolled around, at the latest, they would be unlocked and a new batch of Soulbound would be released to coincide with Rebellion. So, you know, you got a new set that comes out, you got new rewards that come out. Obviously, that hasn't happened. We're still waiting. We have no information whatsoever about when Soulbound will be unlocked. No information whatsoever about what the unlock cost will be, aside from like random, could be up to 18x minus whatever time investment and blah blah. But all in all, we're still kind of like in the dark about what's going to happen with Soulbound reward cards. And when the next set's coming out, who knows? And how they're going to formulate the next set, who knows? But I'm under the impression from just like listening to the team that the next set is also going to be Soulbound as far as reward cards go. And at this point in time, I don't even care. Like, it doesn't even matter to me if the Soulbound reward cards are worth a penny each. Like our good buddies here, like let me just go to rewards over here, like our good buddies over here, things like Pelacor Bandit for a cent. Like I just don't care. All the bots have enough of the Soulbound reward cards that they can do what they want. And I mean, I'm just using these reward cards that were overprinted as an example, you know, because I mean the Soulbound reward cards, there's just as many of those guys that are going to exist. The bots are already able to play with just the Soulbound reward cards that they have. So I mean, if you were to release them now and the commons were worth a penny, I mean, at this point in time, I don't even care. I just want them released so I can finish up the set that I need. And, you know, legendaries being 50 cents or whatever like that. I mean, it kind of is what it is at this case. I don't care what they're worth. I just want them unlocked so that those of us who play can actually go ahead and purchase them. They're already going to be undervalued because they were so overprinted. That's the way that I look at it right now. So that's some of the problems I see with the Soulbound right now. And obviously, it's also led to the problem of bots not needing to actually purchase anything in Wild. They're able to run it all the way up to probably Champion at this point in time, just using the Soulbound cards that they've acquired with maybe like, you know, the Ghost cards, which I think that if I understand what Royal Eagle was saying, that in Wild they might remove Ghost cards, I should say starter cards, you know, the ones I'm talking about that you get for free just for entering, so you have something. So in Wild they might remove those, and they might remove the SPS 1x modifier, so that even the worst bot ever would still have to have some SPS invested. But I don't think that it's enough to actually save the Soulbound cards at this point in time, even when they are unlocked. I mean, look, we got 43,000 Izzyars that are in print at this point in time, BCX versus. So first off, what's kind of the biggest problem that I see with continuing to do the Soulbound the way that they are right now? So Matt's big focus for the foreseeable future is on the NPE, the new player experience. And I mean, I've said this before multiple times. If a new player starts playing and they're like, oh, I got beat by Iziar, like probably I'd say one of the best Soulbound cards that exists. I love Iziar, I love Aves, you know, we all love Kulu Mastermind, etc. And say they're beaten by one of those cards and they're a new player and they think to themselves, hey, you know what? I also want to play with that card. So the advantage is given to those of us who've been here for forever, who've already got a good deck and everything like that. We've been accumulating these Soulbound cards, but now the new player experience that we're trying to drive and we're trying to work on, how is that new player going to feel when they go and they look in the market and they're like, huh, why can't I purchase Iziar? I've been beat by Iziar 5 times, 10 times in a row now. I want to purchase that card. I can't even buy it. There's no time frame on the horizon for when I'll be able to buy it. I'm at a permanent disadvantage forever because I didn't play during like this golden era of Iziar reward cards. And I think that that's just going to cause players to leave. So if you want to really work on the new player experience, one of the first things that you have to do is unlock reward cards in a reasonable amount of time, like these Soulbound reward cards, unlock them, allow people to buy them. And it's really strange to me in a lot of ways because I know that Matt's a Magic card player. I'm was a big time Magic card player before I discovered Splinterlands. I literally have been selling Magic cards for Splinterlands asset and know that hasn't gone that well for me. But I even sold a card to Matt that he wanted. So I know that Matt understands the concept of Magic the Gathering players and having access to the cards that you need in order to play the game, even if they're expensive. And sure, there's a price point on Magic the Gathering cards. If you want to have a really competitive commander deck, then you'll need to go ahead and you'll need to have like MTG dual land. You'll need to have some dual lands and stuff like that in your deck, okay? Like those of us who play Magic, we know that you don't need to have alpha and beta and stuff like that. You could play with a beat up Badlands, and I know NFTs don't get damaged and stuff, but these cards right here, these are very important and they're very expensive. So not everyone is going to have access to them just because of the cost of these cards. However, you can still buy them. So if you wanted to be competitive, you could still go out and buy these cards even though they're expensive. You can't do that with these Soulbound reward cards. So a new player coming in isn't even going to be able to purchase it no matter how much money. Say they want to spend $1,000 on an Iziar, they still can't do it. And that is definitely going to drive people away from the game. So if we want to fix the new player experience, part of that involves fixing Soulbound reward cards. Now, I'll be totally honest, I'm on tilt a little bit right now when I'm making this video because I took like, out of my last 10 matches, I lost 8 out of 10. Like I said, I should have had a little more humility before posting that video, and I was 17 out of 20 with the wins. But at the same time, how can we fix these Soulbound reward cards? And like I said, the number one way would just don't have them Soulbound anymore. I mean, we can also go ahead and with the way that Glint works these days, if you're like me, you're getting way less cards than you used to. So I mean, just the mere fact that Glint exists is going to slow down the number of these next set, I guess, and I guess the current Soulbound reward cards. We're looking towards the future set, right? Just the mere fact that Glint exists and you're getting so few rewards because of the way that the Glint shop works, that in itself is going to slow down the distribution of the next set of Soulbound reward cards. So that's already going to curve the amount of these cards that are going in circulation, right? You're maybe instead of having 43,000, you'll have 13,000 or something like that of the next best legendary, just based on the fact that you're getting like a quarter of the amount of rewards that you were before. You're not opening like 10 daily chests and 70 end of season chests and getting flooded with these cards like 9x here, 10x there, right? So just on its own, the Glint shop being what it is going to reduce the output of reward cards. So that's a reason why maybe you don't need them to be soulbound anymore because there's going to be way less of them. But another thing that you can actually do at this point, and this is kind of one of the things I've been thinking about a lot, is why not make smaller reward card sets? Like we're talking maybe 1 legendary, 1 mythic, 2 rares, 2 commons or something like that, and only have them in circulation for maybe 3 months and then immediately unlock them. All right. If we were to do something like that, but let's even say 4 months. So 3 times a year, you get some new reward sets that come out. That will be a total of 3 legendaries per faction, per splinter. 3 legendaries, 3 epics, like 6 rares and 6 commons or something like that. Okay. But each one of those sets you can only get for a shorter period of time. 4 months, let's say, okay, to make it 3 times per year or something, or maybe even like 4 times a year every 3 months or something. Shorten it up. That alone, even if the print rate remained the same, instead of having 43,000 Izzyar, you'd have like 11,000 Izzyar, something like that, of whatever the next Izzyar is. And then immediately make them unlockable. That way, if there is a new player that joins in or something like that, and they say, hey, you know what, I want this Izzyar, I can't play. Well, maybe they've joined 2 months into the 3 month cycle. They wait 1 more month, and then they can just go and they can buy Izzyar off of the market. I'm just using Izzyar as my example for everything because it's Izzyar. It's the one that we always hope to open. So that's kind of one of the things. The first things that I'm thinking of here is literally just create shorter runs of these reward cards and have them unlocked immediately so that people can then stay competitive. The whole fact that we've gone 18 months without being able to purchase these cards, that is so detrimental to the long-term health of the game. Who knows how many players joined in the past 6 months and were waiting for an unlock and then weren't able to get it, and they're in bronze, they're in silver, they're not able to get the legendary cards. Since they can't get the legendary cards, they can't climb very high because they're facing people who already have these reward cards, and maybe they're maxed out, maybe they're not, but they're at a permanent disadvantage since they can't actually buy them. So I think that the solution, maybe, if we're going to continue with Soulbound reward cards, okay, I'll just keep it nice and short and sweet here, I think that they should be gone. All right. I don't think that we need them anymore, especially if bots aren't going to be able to extract as much because now you can't use ghost cards or the starter cards, I guess, in Wild. And there's no longer the 1x SPS earnings in Wild, like presumably, like I think that Royal Eagle might have said in Discord. That will cut down on the amount of bot extraction that's happening on them. And then on top of that, the glint shop just is basically, you're getting so many fewer rewards. Okay, like I'm literally able to get like in a full season. Like take a look right now. In a full season, and here I am playing only modern, okay, where it's 1.5x, which they also need to fix because man, people are getting way more end of season glint than I am, just botting in Wild with a worse collection than me and renting their stuff out on the side. They're like, I don't even need to have good cards. I will just straight up rent out my cards. So now they're making DEC. They're not even using their own cards or putting them on the rental market, right? And on top of that, they're earning more glint than I am in Wild, and they have to have a zero minutes of investment in the actual game. You don't have to spend time in the game anymore in order to earn more glint than people like me are earning that are putting in like the time. I'm losing a lot, but I wasn't losing previously. All right, like I said, I was 17-3 on the last video that I made. So the amount of glint that I'm going to be able to use here in the shop, right? I haven't been spending it, but my end of season loot, let's just say, so it's 14 days, let's double it. Let's say I earn 250,000, by the time that it's done. So 250,000 divided by 5,000 equals 50. So that's going to give me 50 of these champ draws, and that's it for pretty much the entire season. Well, I guess it would be 75. I guess it'd be 75 for the entire season because I get plus my 1x, then plus double whatever that was, right? So I'll get 75 draws, and I'm used to just getting 75 as my EOS, period. 75 or more than that even as my EOS, plus all my daily draws throughout these 14, 15 days of the season. So I'm probably getting a third maybe what I was getting before. That already cuts down the circulation by 66%, because of the glint shop. So getting on to my point of how I think that we can basically try and fix these Soulbound reward cards is don't go crazy like and blow your load and just go and put them all out at once and then wait 18 months, okay? Do really small batches in a shorter time frame and unlock them quickly. That way, there's going to be a shorter time that they're on the market. It'll actually make the glint draws useful because instead of you saying, hey, you know what? I've already got all these cards. Like, I'm not going to do any more draws. My cards are fine, I guess. There's no point me even doing any more of these draws unless it's my kids. They'll probably do the last 3 of these master draws for me, just for funsies. But I don't need any more cards. I'd actually rather just save the glint, you know? But if there was only 3 months to get a batch of reward cards before they went on the market, which it should happen quickly, then I'd be doing all my draws all the time. I'd be like, hey, you know what? If I don't get them in my draws, I'm gonna have to buy them off the market. It would encourage me to spend my glint because it's such a limited time frame to get these limited amount of items, you know? So not only would it cut it down by a third, but now we have to look at it again, okay? I'm just gonna do some quick math. So let's say, so there's 43,000 right now, 43,000 Izyar. Let's cut that by a third. So I'm going to divide by 3. That's just to represent the number of cards that you're going to get, because you're only getting like a third the amount that you were getting previously because of the glint shop. So now there's 14,000 Izyar that would be in print. Now we're talking over 18 months. So let's divide that by 18. All right. That gives us 796 per month. I'm going to multiply that. Let's say it's every 4 months. Now you've only got 3,185 of these legends that come out every time. So now you're looking at 3,185 of these over a 4-month time period, and then they're released onto the market. And those of us who want to sell them can sell them, and those of us who don't, we can keep them, and we can unlock them, I guess, or whatever the case may be. But think about the reduction that we're talking about. That I just want to do that math one more time, okay? Just so you guys really understand what I'm trying to get at here, okay? So right now there's 43,000 Izyar. All right, let's just do the math again. 43,000 Izyar. Now you only get 1/3 the amount, so I'm going to divide by 3. We're down to 14,333. I'm going to divide that number by 18 to represent that they've been out for 18 months. That's 796. And I'm going to multiply that by the 4 months that it could be out. That's 3,105. Look at this number, 43,312, and then compare that to 3,185. That's like nothing. That's not even 10% the amount of Izyars that are out here. And then that set rotates, it's unlocked, it's on the market. New players can get them in a reasonable amount of time. People who want to finish their sets can finish their sets. There's going to actually be value in them because there aren't that many that are out there. And then the new reward set comes out and you're like, man, I really want to spend my glint again. Glint is worth me earning to get these limited cards because there's only going to be 3,185 of them that are on the market instead of 43,312. Have value. Glint will have value. It'll be fun and exciting again. Like, I think that if we're going to move forward, that's the proper way to do soulbound cards if they have to be soulbound. Smaller amounts of them at a time, which allows more of them to be opened. Well, sorry, which doesn't allow more of them to be open because of the way the glint shop works, and it'll actually be exciting again. When you're going 18 months with the same stuff, it's stale, you know? And when there's 43,000 of them, they're not going to have value. But again, bringing that 43,000 down to 3,000, and I guess maybe we should double that because there's actually 2. There's Izyar and there's Ave. So you know what? We really should multiply by 2 to represent the fact that there would only be 1 of these legendaries to get instead of 2 of them, right? Now you're down to 6,370. That's still like way less than 43,000. You know? Let's actually do 43,000 divided by 63. So 43,000 divided by 6,300 equals, yeah, that's 6.82 times less, you know? So I think that that's the way that we can fix things. Shorter periods of time, dedicated unlock period. You're going to get less because of less glint, and the cards are going to have a lot more value. You're going to cycle faster. It's going to allow new players to actually get the cards when they want to buy them. I mean, we have to do something here, guys. I mean, when you look at the negativity that's happening in Discord, and you look at like the fact that we're trying to create a new player experience, locking players out of buying cards is not the way to create a new player experience. Allowing them to have the same fun as everyone else, even if they have to wait 3 months, that's a far cry from 18 plus months, or who knows how long it's going to be. It's still not even announced, you know? So there you go, guys. There's my long-winded opinion. I kind of ranted for a bit there. Like I said, I'm a bit on tilt right now because of the fact that I've gone 2-10 in my last couple battles. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think about this? Like, I'd really like to see your comments. Let me know how you guys feel. Is this a way to fix Soulbound reward cards? I mean, if they had to be Soulbound, is this better than what we're doing right now? Would it create like that scarcity that we want and provide more value? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your opinions. I would love for someone with some kind of power and authority to like watch this video and comment as well. Like, take some player input here. Read the room. The sentiment is not good around Soulbound. It is detracting from the whole Web3 experience. And I was a Soulbound guy. I was a Soulbound proponent. It's gone on too long. It soured me to Soulbound. I no longer like Soulbound, but if we had to do it, quick turnaround, quick unlock, less supply, let's go! So until next time, my friends, again, I want those comments. I'll try and reply to them. Let me know what you think, and don't forget to give me a like, share, subscribe, whatever you're supposed to do. Yeah, man. I think that we can turn things around. I know that it's all doom and gloom right now, but I don't think that's long term. We just need to get back on track like how it used to be before these Soulbound. And like I said, the day is done for these existing ones. Iziar, Tenacious Hulk, Aves there, no. Drybone, no. There's no value left in those. They were too overprinted, you know? And the unlock's probably going to be crazy on them. Well, but moving ahead, let's fix it. Let's fix it for the new player experience. Don't roll out NPE and then run into this exact same problem again. Until next time, my friends, it's I the Psy. Have yourself a great day. I'll see y'all in Pretoria. Peace, my friends. Take care.